As a real estate investor, your loan to value is all about balance across your entire portfolio. So if you have the opportunity to do an 80% loan to value cash out refinance, should you do it? Well, it totally depends. So if you're starting out as an investor, you're in the growth phase, you're trying to grow your portfolio, it makes more sense for you to do an 80% LTV cash out refinance than it would for someone who has an established portfolio and is already financially free. So for me, I own $60 million worth of real estate, roughly 440 units. It does not make sense for me to max out all of my refinances at the maximum LTV because I don't care as much about growth anymore. I care about stabilization. I care about lowering my leverage, peace of mind, and keeping my financial freedom and not losing everything that I've worked so hard for. On the other hand, if you do an 80% LTV cash out refinance and you're in the growth phase, what ultimately matters is, does that deal still cash flow at that 80% LTV? Is your debt service coverage ratio still a 1.20? Because in real estate investing, cash flow is amazing, but the person who lives the longest, the person who doesn't lose their shirt the longest as a real estate investor, they make the most money. Because 20 years from now, when you own that property free and clear and it's doubled or tripled in value, you could do a cash out refinance and pull out all of that equity, or you can sell it and extract all of that equity and reinvest it. That's when you make the big bucks as a real estate investor. It's those large equity plays. The cash flow is great. You make a little bit of money monthly, but the large equity plays is really where you make money. So if you increase your total portfolio's loan to value too much, you're not going to make it there, because as soon as something goes wrong in any of your properties, a roof needs to be replaced, an HVAC system, tenants aren't paying, you aren't going to have enough margin in your cash flow to remain afloat during that period of time. So if you do an 80% LTV, make sure that for future refinances, maybe you do 70%, 75%. Because the goal is to keep your entire portfolio balanced. And the goal is for your entire portfolio's debt service coverage ratio to be at least a 1.20, and for your cash flow to be substantial enough so that if something goes wrong, you can still survive and remain afloat. So nothing against cash out refinances, particularly if you're in the growth season, but just make sure that your portfolio has balance.